All right, so what's up, guys? My name is Mark Augustine. So I've sold over $20 million over the past 10, 11 years on various platforms. If you guys have followed me before, I've made software for dropshipping. I haven't really formally done FBA. But this gentleman here, Douglas, he has a YouTube channel. He does FBA. He's been doing it for the past 4 years or so. If you want, there's a link to his YouTube channel in the description. Go check it out, subscribe. He's not selling you a course. He actually does FBA full time. So Douglas, before you introduce yourself, you wanted to share before we got on the call? You had your
Myself,
Amazon, yeah, just so people know that this
yeah.
is not a joke.
So I've done year to date $399,000 as of right now. And
Mhm.
you can see up here today alone, I sold 46 units for $686. And
Today.
locally, it's not even 11 o'clock yet. So I've been doing about $2,000 a day for most of the month. I'll switch over. This month, I've done $44,000 so far
Wow.
in November, I ship out inventory 2 or 3 times a week into Amazon, shipments 400 pieces a week, so I'm always busy doing Amazon.
Okay, sweet. So I know we had this before we got cut off, but just tell the guys how long you've been doing it. You've been at
Yeah.
Lowe's before. If you guys follow his YouTube channel, you would have heard this story before, but this is the first time he's on my channel.
Yeah.
So that's why we're gonna. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, I was a manager at Lowe's for 8 years. They downsized their management from every department having its own department manager to 5. We had a new store manager, so he kept people he brought in and demoted all the rest of us. I was recently divorced, so I needed to figure out something to do to stay home. I don't really have a support system, my dad lives out of state, my mom, she passed away of MS like 10 years ago. My sisters live a few hours away, so I needed to figure out how am I going to be home with my kids. So I started searching YouTube, trying to see what can you do from home. And I came across like Reezy Resells, Raking Profits, and a few others. And I learned about Amazon FBA. So I have a lot of video games. I've collected video games. So to test out the waters, I sent in some video games I had around the house to see what is this all about? What is the process? And they all sold like really fast. So then I started, going to the stores to do retail arbitrage, and the following month I had sold my house in the divorce. So I took about $20,000 of that and started testing out Amazon and finding my way through because I didn't really know nothing about Amazon. And actually what I did just to learn is I went to Walmart and I went up and down the aisles and I scanned everything, going up this aisle, come back up this one. And I would spend hours looking what sells, what brands sell. And, I learned the hard way, just going up and down the aisles, scanning everything. Now I have it down to a science and I'm in and out of Walmart with a cart full. I spent $1,000 in like an hour at Walmart, but that's how I learned what sells, what doesn't sell, so
And
now
do you think your experience in retail helped or no? Because I worked in retail before. I worked in Target. I mentioned that before. This is where I'm wearing a red T-shirt talking about Target. I actually hate working at Target. But do you think that helped in understanding the process or no?
Yes, what it really helps with is, what I do is I look for mainly replenishable items. So for example, say I wanted to sell rock stars and, I go to Walmart or whatever, I scan rock stars and I'll keep sending them in, like Walmart, they have their set items they have on the shelves. And that's basically what I do is I have my set replenishable items. So I went to Walmart and I was scanning items on the shelves with the goal of just having stuff to send in all the time at Walmart. So that was my goal, because that's what they do in retail stores. So I learned like how many to order at a time or how many to buy at a time, how many to send in and stuff like that. Learning sales rank was very important, because I was used to looking at reports, so I would know what would sell, what I would send in, or what I would order from the vendors at Lowe's. So I took that to Amazon, and that's what I do. I go to Walmart and I grab the same 30, 40 items and just buy them
Wow.
twice a week. So like if I have something I sell like 40 of a month, I'll go to Walmart twice a week and I'll grab, like say 5 each time I go. So that way I just always have like 5 or 10 in stock, but I don't have like 50 or 60, so I'm not paying that storage fee.
Ah,
You know,
okay. So you have to find a balance between how much you buy because there's an extra storage fee
yeah,
if
because
it
Amazon,
stays in.
yes. So like during Q4, Amazon charges, they like quadruple or triple their storage fees.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this month I paid like 500 something in storage fees. So that's in most months it's closer to like 100, 150, because I buy just enough where I always have some in stock, so I'm
And then
trying to,
after storage fees, and then after the percentage Amazon charges, and after shipping fees, you still find enough margin to make a.
yes. Yeah, I make, I stay around 15% margin now because prices have gone up so much. But
Mhm.
last year I was around 18, 19%. But this year I started shifting some toward wholesale. So, there's lower margins on wholesale. Like I
Mhm.
have this spice that I sell, like 20 of a day, and my margin's like 29% return on investment or 30%, but I'm selling 20 a day, so it's worth it, you know. So, but yeah, I still find enough of margin to still make enough money and stay home and support my family,
And
you know.
how long did it take? So first of all, how much money did you start with? Like if you
Um,
had to start today, if you had to tell someone on YouTube, okay, you need X amount of money. Okay, would you say you could
yeah,
start with $5,000, $10,000, 100? Like
yeah, yeah.
what is it?
So
What would you suggest in your
what
experience?
I would suggest is at least 5,000 would be like the bare minimum because there's programs that I use that I think are make your life so much easier that are really vital to operating FBA. Like,
Mhm.
I pay $25 a month for a repricer, like Be
Mhm.
Cool, and
Okay.
what that does is I set my prices. So say I want to make at least 30% return on investment. So I'll set my repricer for 30% return on investment and say like $20 or whatever. So when the market changes, because Amazon prices change all day, every day, there's people that drop prices and people sell out and prices go up. So the
Mhm.
repricer automatically changes your prices along with the market to your minimum price you're willing to sell it for to the maximum price. I use Inventory Lab and I process all my shipments through Inventory Lab because I think Amazon Seller Central is really difficult to process FBA shipments. And it's just really easy using Inventory Lab and it tracks everything just like all your expenses. You can input your mileage. You set it up where Amazon sends all of its information to Inventory Lab. So it calculates all my sales, all my profits, all my
Mhm.
fees from Amazon. So I use it like QuickBooks. So I don't use QuickBooks, I use
Ah.
Inventory Lab, and it tracks all the information that you need to do your taxes and all
And
that stuff.
what's it cost of inventory lab?
$45 a month. So I
Okay,
pay
okay.
$45 a month for that. You know, and the rest I would spend on products. I mean, I use other programs to kind of like Keepa, and what Keepa does is it gives you the graph to show what the pricing history, and you can use
Right.
it for sales rank and stuff like that. And I think Keepa's around $20 a month. I pay $100 a year for another a Chrome extension called what is it called? The name's slipping my mind. Let me pull it up here. Um, let me see. Rev Seller, excuse me. Sorry, it took a
Right.
second. But Rev Seller. So what it does is it gives me the sales rank right on the top,
Mm-hmm.
and it calculates the pricing. So if it's selling for say $17.99, you can input your cost, and it tells you right there like $4 profit or whatever. So it gives you all the information where you just plug in the numbers right off the bat, and it'll tell you if it's a profitable item or not.
Mm-hmm.
And another function it has is say with like a t-shirt, like there's 5 sizes to a t-shirt. It breaks down and it tells you how many reviews each size has.
Oh wow! So it breaks down to like the actual when there's a variant, it breaks down
Yes,
the feed. Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So it'll say like 2 reviews on a medium, one on a large. So that way, if you're shopping online or whatever, you can say, okay, I want to buy more mediums because it's selling. It has more reviews. So if it has
Mhm.
more reviews, it's going to sell more. Overall, or more likely to sell than other sizes.
And, okay, you said that you started when you were going through a divorce and you left your job. Weren't
Hmm.
you afraid to lose money? Because if you start, usually start, and this is just a personal question. Usually starting a
Yeah.
business is risky, right? Like you hear a lot
Yes.
of people saying most businesses fail or whatever. So a lot of people who watch YouTube have jobs and so on, and they fear this entrepreneurial process.
Hmm.
What made you were you afraid to lose the money that you put in at that point?
I was concerned about that, but I have a lot of experience. I do have a bachelor's degree in business,
Mm-hmm.
and numbers is just comes natural to me, like financial numbers.
Okay.
Like I have a lot of experience in that kind of thing, and I just knew that it would work. I knew I would be able to do it. I'm a hardworking person. I have an internal clock. I don't use an alarm clock. I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning. I get up. I do. I check like my sales, like my profits. I check my wholesale items to see if I need to reorder anything. If I have shipment to prepare in my garage. I'm in the garage preparing my shipment at 4 in the morning, and I work until the kids get off of school every day, which is around 2 o'clock. But I just work really hard all the time. It's just something I've always done. So I knew I would figure out a way to make it work. I mean, it
Okay.
was very stressful, but starting and learning, because like in the beginning, I didn't know what sales rank was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. So I went to Walmart and I bought some Call of Duty T-shirts that came with a beanie, and
Mm-hmm.
they've never had a sales rank. And I ended up just taking them out and donating them after a while, but I didn't know what sales rank was. So I had made mistakes along the way, but, I learned, and I did pay to take a course to learn the basics,
Mm-hmm.
so,
And
and
how
that's,
much was that? How much was it cost?
I paid a few $100s. I think I paid like $600 or $700 for the course,
Wow.
and I
Okay.
learned what I needed to do. I typically wouldn't recommend that much money on a course
Mm-hmm.
now. And, but I learned everything I needed to know from them, mainly like sales rank and bundling is something that I'm really big on doing. So like salad dressing, I sell a lot of groceries. So like salad dressing, get 3 flavors of salad dressing, or like 3 bottles of the same salad dressing
Ah.
and send it in. Like I do a lot of sourcing from Trader Joe's. So
Mm-hmm.
like, they have some things that I sell individually, and I'll sell the same things in a bundle of 3 or with different flavors. So that way I can just branch out and have more ASINs available to sell.
When you bundle these items, do you have to buy a UPC or do you use a UPC that's already on one of the items? Because I used to do
Uh,
a lot of Amazon drop shipping, and
yeah,
when we bundle, we used to do bundles of like, well, I used to do bundles of like furniture using like if there's a couch in a separate set or
yeah.
something like that, like bundle them and drop ship. Would you have to buy a UPC or how does that work?
Okay, so I only sell things that are already listed on Amazon. I've never created a listing. I
Hmm.
piggyback off existing listings. So I have a Dymo printer and I print out Amazon barcodes. Because Trader Joe's, they use like a partial barcode. It's not a full one like on our Marvel toy. It has like 6 or 7 digits.
Right.
So you have to actually go in and type in the item, or you can scan it in through the picture of the item. You can scan it into the Amazon app.
Hmm.
But whenever I type in like say Trader Joe's cookies or whatever, and I just print it up through Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab pops up with the print page for the label, and I just print it off using my Dymo printer. So
And
it's
how long did it take? You said in the beginning you were like it was stressful and you had to learn. How long did it take to first like learn what you needed to know and then feel comfortable that you knew what you were doing? Because when you first start a business, you could watch YouTube, you could do these courses, but at the end of the day, you are putting up the money and time to try to run this business, right? And like
yeah.
you taking care of your kids and all this stuff. At what point, how long did it take you like, okay, I'm making money, I and I know what I'm doing.
I would say about 4 to 6 months for me to be like comfortable, because I started, like, I quit my job in November, which was right in the middle of Q4. So, I had bought some Pioneer Women mugs, like the sippers, the plastic ones you get, like
Right.
for your coffee or whatever. And I bought a few because I'll do a test buy on a new item. I'll buy like
Mhm.
4 or 5 and send it in to see if the current sellers will drop the price. So I bought, 4 or 5 of a few different ones and I sent them in and they sold really fast. So I went to Walmart and I bought them all, because I was like, all right, cool, these sold really well. And wasn't really thinking about price, people dropping their price. So once we got to Christmas, everybody dropped their prices and I lost like $5 each on them, and that's a learning experience, that there's seasonality to things,
Right.
so once I kind of got through the Christmas and the price drops after Christmas, and then I started sourcing like Ross for toys and I was selling shoes at the time. I started selling shoes, so it took me a while to kind of figure out how people operate at different seasons on Amazon, other sellers.
Mm.
And then in March that following year, I got ungated in almost everything. Like Amazon just auto ungated me in like Nike, Adidas, Jordans, Marvel. I got ungated like 400 brands one day.
Wow.
And, tropicals and, like dietary supplements, like all of that opened up in March. So like 4 or 5 months into Amazon. So after that, it was pretty easy because all the barriers were gone. I was able to just sell almost everything.
Yeah.
There's a few brands here and there like DC and few Starbucks. I can't sell either of those brands still today, but that really opened up the doors for me to be able to source pretty much anything I wanted, with a few exceptions.
And then
Yeah.
what is the most money you've lost on an item? Do you know?
It was probably those mugs. I've had some things that price drop, but I tend to sell a lot in grocery because the prices don't fluctuate so much.
Ah,
Sometimes they'll fluctuate within a couple dollars, and most things usually will have like 8 or 10 sellers. I mean, like candy, during like Christmas candy, you might see like 100 people on it. But
right.
most toys you'll see like 100 people on every listing, especially
That
this time.
many?
Yeah, there's some toys I've seen like 200-300 people on this time
Wow.
of year. But with grocery, there's usually 8, 10, 20 is a lot for grocery. So there's not as much competition on all the listings.
Mm-hmm.
There are outliers, of course, but
Yeah.
typically there's less competition. So the prices aren't dropping so much.
But
But oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
But I have had a few items that are like $5 losses, $10 losses, but it is very uncommon, because I've shifted mainly to grocery. I mean, I still sell a
Okay.
lot of toys and I sell a lot of clothes if I can find them, like t-shirts and swim trunks. I quit selling shoes completely because the return rate was like 30-40%. So
Yeah,
I've
and you
got,
have to keep returns pretty low on
yeah,
Amazon.
yeah. So I've gotten pretty much all the way out of shoes. I'll sell sandals or slippers during, the holidays or, the summer and winter. But I've basically gotten out of shoes because the return rates were so high. And that just comes out of your margins when you have the returns. Because Amazon even charges you a fee for processing returns. You
Yeah.
know, if something gets returned 3 or 4 times, it's just really holding up your cash flow.
Okay, and do you wait, you don't use any of those services that pay you in advance, right? You wait until you get paid every
Um,
2 weeks, or and
um,
how is the whole time and all that type of stuff? How do you manage your
so,
cash flow
yeah.
when you
So
in
what I
FBA?
do to manage my cash flow, you can request your own disbursements
Mm-hmm.
from Amazon. I don't think you really even need to have a third party do it. So I go in, so every Saturday or Sunday, they've changed it. So on Sunday, I'll go request a disbursement and I get my money on Tuesday. And then that's my sourcing money. And then again on Wednesday, I'll request a disbursement and I'll get paid on Friday. And that's my weekend sourcing money.
Right.
So I get sourcing money twice a week. And what I do is I have my one cashback credit card that I use, and I use it for all my purchases. So, I'll go buy my stuff today, like if I went sourcing today, and I'll pay it off tomorrow with my credit card or with
Right.
my account. So I'm getting like $150 a month in,
That's
free
cash back.
cash
Yeah.
back from my credit card, and I pay off my credit card every day. I'll go through because it takes a day or two to process some things. So I never have interest because I'm paying it off as
Mm-hmm.
fast as I am, buying the stuff, but I'm getting the cash back rewards still.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
credit report, it shows zero balance because I pay it off as soon as, my purchases hit the account.
And do you think anyone could do this? Like the reason why
Yes.
I asked that, online with making money online or FBA or drop shipping or whatever, you have all
Mhm.
these people, like even with this video, we're gonna talk, will you, yeah, you sell $500,000 a year and all that stuff. But and I know you, so guys, like the video, subscribe to your channel. Douglas is not here to sell your course. He's actually just an FBA seller full-time that has a YouTube channel, shares his experience, right? So do you
Yeah.
think anyone could do this? What is the difference
Yes.
between success and failure in
Uh,
Amazon FBA?
So really, I think Amazon FBA is really easy. It is time consuming, especially I
Mhm.
sell groceries. So I do a lot of bubble wrapping because, there's a lot of glass and stuff like that, so I do put in a lot of work, I probably put in more hours now than I did working retail, but I'm free.
Wow. And retail is a lot of hours.
Yeah, but I'm free. I like last year I took like 5 weeks of vacation outside
Nice.
of California. Like I like to travel a lot and stuff. But I think it's worth it because I'm home with the kids,
Mhm.
and doing all this stuff. But it's really easy. Anybody with a smartphone could go to Walmart. They can scan barcodes and look for profitable items. Because it tells you all the information on the Amazon app. I don't even use a third-party scanner app. I just use the Amazon app for scanning products. If you can just do basic math, anybody can really do this, but you really want to do it. I definitely had a reason why I needed to do this. You have to really have a purpose with what you're wanting to do, or else you probably struggle to get through it because sometimes it's really boring. Okay, I'm bubble wrapping, you know, barbecue sauce again today. It's kind of boring, but you just plug through it and you just have to keep wanting to do it.
And
So
you're
I do.
doing all yourself, right? It's not like you have
Yes.
help or
The only thing I have a third party do is Amazon will pay you reimbursements if they break stuff in their warehouse or they lose it in the warehouse. So I have a third party that does that for me.
Mhm.
But other than that, I do everything myself. I do all my own purchasing. I get my own wholesale accounts. I do everything myself. My kids, they'll help me bubble wrap.
Okay.
I'll have them out there and they'll be bubble wrapping stuff for me, or I'll have them, like if I buy 20 of something, I'll have them put the stickers on the boxes to speed it up a little bit. But other than that, I do it all myself. I'll take my boys with me. They know what I buy already. So they'll be like, okay, Dad, how many of this do I want? And they'll fill up my cart for me. And while they're filling up my cart, I'll go down the aisle, scan maybe some new stuff they have at Walmart,
Right.
you know. So that's kind of what we do is, they help me do little things like that to make
And
it go faster.
And how often a week do you source? You said what? You source twice a week. When you get paid?
Yeah. So when I'm at home, I get kind of bored because I'm so used to always going. Retail, you're always going. So I basically, if I leave the house, I go somewhere to source because I can claim those miles. I mean, it sounds kind of
Ah,
silly, but I claim miles. So if I'm going grocery shopping, I'll source while I'm at the store because then I can just claim the miles. Or if I get bored at home, especially when I'm
wow.
home alone with no kids here, I'm used to having my kids because I have two and my fiance has five. So I have seven kids home with me,
Wow.
so sometimes I just kind of get bored and I have stores all over town. I live in Bakersfield, California. So we have, I think, like four super Walmarts, three Walmart groceries. We have three DD's discounts, four Targets.
Yeah.
I think we have four or five Rosses. So there's places everywhere. So whatever I feel like doing, we have going about 10 miles or 5 miles this way. I've got four stores I source. If I go to the east side of town, there's 5 or 6 stores I source. And on my main sourcing path, if you want to call it that, I go to the southwest side of town, and there's about 30 stores that I will source until my car is full. So it just depends upon what mood I'm in and what stores I've hit recently, or if I just get bored at home and I just want to go sourcing. Because I do have fun. It's like a treasure hunt. When I
Right.
go to like
Right.
the discount stores, it's like a treasure hunt. So sometimes I just enjoy going out and sourcing, you know.
And do you know other people like in your area that do this, or I like,
I've
are
ran
you?
into I've ran into a couple people, and over the years I've known all the cashiers at everywhere.
Right.
Tell me like at Marshalls, I was at Marshalls the other day, and one of the cashiers tell me that people are coming in more and more doing what I do. She's like, a few years ago when you came in, you're the only person I ever heard of doing this. And she's like, I thought it was weird. And now she's like, people come through and buy our clearance stuff all the time. So
Okay.
more and more people are doing it. For a while, I was competing with the guy. He'd come clear out all the clearance stuff at Walmart's, and I don't do much of the clearance because I find that prices drop a lot on Amazon with clearance items specifically.
Yeah.
Because Walmart, they carry the same stuff in all their stores, and stores in like Florida are cheaper than California. We're way, way expensive than everybody else. So our clearance isn't going to compete with Florida's clearance as far as
Right.
how much they mark it down. So I usually don't mess with the clearance because I just can't really compete with people in the other states because Walmart's going to clearance the same stuff out in every store across the country. So
So
I,
you're doing mainly Walmart. You keep talking about Walmart. Is it
yeah,
that
Walmart.
Walmart has a ton of products that Amazon does not have, or why Walmart?
They're typically cheaper than most other stores.
Hmm.
And, I make more money at Walmart than anywhere else. Like before my expenses of like bubble wrap and boxes, stuff like that, Walmart, I make probably triple the profits of Walmart than anywhere else.
Mm. Wow.
Christmas season's a little bit different, but, on a normal month,
Hmm.
Walmart, I make a lot more at Walmart than anywhere else, like double or triple any of the other stores.
Okay. Okay.
You
And do
know,
you plan to diversify, or do you plan to just grow this as big as possible? I mean, you're doing it for 4 years. What in those 4 years, what have you learned, and what direction do you think you're going to take it?
I want to switch more to wholesale, because prices are just going up like a lot in all the stores.
Hmm.
Like, for example, there's some jelly that I would sell in a bundle of two. I sold it in bundles of four, and I sold it in individual. Like in January, they were $3.48 a jar. And I was still making like $3 profit a jar.
Wow.
And the Walmart's raised their prices twice on most of their items this year in the grocery department. And
Mm.
now it's $4.47 a jar. So now I'm not selling it because now it's too expensive. Because if I was making like, say, $4.50, now it's $2, and that one has a lot of price fluctuating with other sellers as well. That one actually fluctuates a lot, but Walmart's raising their prices on a lot of stuff. Like even Pepperidge Farm cookies, a little, like you get like 6 cookies for $2.80. They just raised their prices 40 cents each per package. So I was making like $2 each on a $2.80 profit. And now is it even worth it at $1.50 profit? Because you have to worry about the cookies getting damaged or something with shipping. So I'm wanting to switch more over to wholesale, because then it's more consistent as far as pricing.
But then the money that when you're purchasing wholesale, my guess would be you'll need a bigger, like let's say, like a bigger purchase budget, no?
Yes, it is harder to get in. So I have this wholesale account that I have. I buy like 5 or 6 different items on them. So like one of them I mentioned earlier was this seasoning that I sell like 20 a day of. Once a month I go through and I order like either 400 or 600. It sells slow down, and I'll buy other stuff too. But it's like $4,000 I spend every time I purchase with them. So that is something that's kind of a change. But there are some companies that are different. Like I sell like food flavoring that comes in like the little jars like this big, or like some of them are 16-ounce bottles. To get free shipping from them, I have to spend $750. So I'll spend about $1,000 or so every time I purchase from them. And I have about 10 SKUs from them that I purchase. I sell some like the little sugars they put on cookies.
Yeah.
I have a wholesale account from another company that sells that stuff, and they're like 2-pound bottles of the little sugars. And, they give free shipping at like $200, so.
Right. Okay. So you don't have to.
So you have to kind of cast a wide net on wholesale, because they're all different. But I try to find smaller companies, not like Kellogg's or something like that. I'll try to find like some random barbecue sauce or something that sells really well. And, sell 40,
and you still have to
bottles.
prep the items when you get them from wholesale.
Yes. There are some that will send it into Amazon for you, but most of them don't. And wholesale, another thing that's really difficult with wholesale is companies don't want to deal with Amazon, or they have like pre-existing contracts with other Amazon sellers. So I would probably send out like 30, 40 emails contacting companies, and I might get like 1 or 2 that say it's okay. Like they'll deal with it. So it is really hard to find people willing to deal with you. And a lot of companies are selling on Amazon themselves.
So you can't compete with.
Yeah. So, and like the sugars I was talking about, there's like, I was selling an orange color, and I was selling a ton for Halloween, because the Halloween orange is kind of one of the colors. And today I sold out of them like the last couple of days, the orange color. And I woke up today and I was looking to order some, and Amazon jumped on the listing, and it showed they have like 1,000 of them in stock. So Amazon sometimes will come in, and because I do think they track what we sell and hit up companies.
Yeah, the most definitely, because when I was drop shipping on Amazon, when there's certain items you were selling a lot of times they jump on the listing. You know what I mean? But with drop shipping, you're not putting up the money up front, right? So it's a lot more. Drop shipping is a lot more volatile than FBA because there's less barrier to entry. Like anyone with a credit card, I mean, could get jumped and try to drop ship. But Amazon has changed a lot of their terms of services with respect to drop shipping and fulfilled by merchants.
Yes. But I typically just look for replenishable items is kind of what I tend to do. It's safer because you already know from the experience, and I source often, so I buy fewer at a time. So if the price was to drop for any reason, I'm not going to get stuck with like 100 of them or something like that, so I do limit how much I buy of each item, except for the few wholesale accounts I have. I'll buy quite a bit. But when I do retail arbitrage, I do just a few at a time to kind of protect myself, but still be consistent. You know,
And how long did it take you to scale? Like you were providing for a family of 7 kids.
Yes.
In California.
So, yeah. So I did take out an Amazon business loan, and that was how I scaled because I was pretty stagnant at like say 15,000 a month in sales, and I was making like $2,000 a month, and this was like 3.5 years ago. So now I've used Amazon loans to scale. You know, so I'll take one out around Christmas, and then I'll make as much money as I can during the holiday season, and then I'll pay it off during the year. And you know, we live comfortable on about $4,000 to $5,000 a month profit. You know, we have everything we need. You know, this year my sales are going to drop from last year, but that's mainly because I bought a house this year. You know, that was a big goal. Is buying a house here cost as much as rent. Like there's a $50 difference between my mortgage than what I was paying in rent last year.
Right.
You know, so I saved up $20,000 last year, and that went toward down payment on a house. Yeah. You know, so,
congratulations, by the way, to buying a house.
Thank you. But yes, Amazon bought me a house that was 5 bedrooms, $270,000 is what it cost. You know, and all of that money was Amazon money that I, because I'm fully licensed. I have, LLC with the what's it called? With the IRS. Yeah. I have my business license. I have all the resale certificate. So I have all the licenses and all that stuff to operate. But Amazon, bought a home for me and my family. So that was.
And how did you learn? How did you go through the process of figuring out? So, I mean, I've been in business for a while, right? But like someone who wants to get into this, where would you start? Like setting up the LLC, getting tax ID number, the business license. Was it all online? Was it from the course that you bought? How did that?
I went and did it, just locally in the stores. But yes, I learned about it from the course I took, that it was a good idea. And the reason why I would recommend doing that straight up is because you're gated in everything when you start. Like I believe they've gated toys and all the brands are gated and stuff like that. So if you go get your resale certificate and get your licenses, you can open up wholesale accounts, because you can't open up wholesale accounts.
Yeah, without that stuff.
So like Entertainment Earth is their toy company, and they sell a lot of main brands like Funko, Hasbro, Nerf, and all of that. So what you do is you get your wholesale license, and then you'll go and you have to buy at least 10 of an item from, like, say, buy 10 Nerf guns. So you buy 10 Nerf guns wholesale from Entertainment Earth, even if you take like a $2 or $3 loss per item, whatever it is, and then you send the invoice of that to Amazon, and they'll ungate you a Nerf. So then you can go source all the Nerf toys you want.
Yeah.
So you take the $20, $30 loss, and sometimes you can find profitable stuff, but you take the small $20, $30 loss just to have that door open up for you.
And how did you learn that? Just through experience, or like that strategy in particular of buying from this?
That just Facebook groups. I'm in some Facebook groups, and people ask questions, and you don't really find stuff you're going to make a lot of money on through Entertainment Earth. I have one item I buy through them that I buy consistently, but you don't find anything because they're only like $2 less than Target, Walmart, or whatever. So no one's really worried about you, taking their listings from them. So, they're like, try out Entertainment Earth, and that's how I got ungated. In Lego, they don't let you do Lego anymore. They have a disclaimer, like, this is but I got ungated Lego, Disney, Hasbro, Nerf, Nintendo.
Wow.
A lot of brands, I've used them to get ungated on. I'm sure there's some that I'm missing. Fisher Price was another one that I use Entertainment Earth to get ungated for.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big one, but that's really cool, dude. I mean, I'm glad you're willing to share. And how often, why, and this is on the side, why did you start YouTube? Why did you start to share? If you're making money at home, you're home with your kids, why put in the extra time to share what you're doing?
To help other people in similar situations, because it sucks working a 9 to 5 job. You don't really get to see your kids. You're basically, your life is operated based off what your employer wants you to do. If you want to work on your kid's birthday and your boss tells you got to work on your kid's birthday, what are you going to do? Quit? You really can't just quit your job on a whim, and that's why, because life is short. Who wants to spend their whole time being a drone for Walmart, just going in and spending all your time there, miss out on Thanksgiving. Like, my kid's mom worked every Thanksgiving and stuff like that, and I just want to help people get out of that life, because I wasn't really happy working retail. I was good at my job and stuff, but you're basically live your life according to how they want you to, because they control your schedule.
Right,
They
right,
control
exactly.
whether or not you go on vacation. They're like, well, we need you here. We have inventory that week. No, you can't go on vacation. I mean, and that's why I want to help people get out of that situation, just so people can be happier. Because I mean, I'm a lot happier running my own business.
Right.
And I've gone on a lot of vacations and I've done a lot of things because I can. So that's the real reason why. I don't sell any courses. I'll put like affiliate market links down below, but I don't even promote them. Really, every once in a while I might bring it up, but I make like $70, $80 a month off my YouTube channel through just ad revenue. So I just got like 2 months ago, I got monetized, but I don't even really care about it. I'm just happy to help people out. 'Cause life is short. Who wants to spend 30, 40 years working for the man when you can be working for yourself?
Okay, sweet, dude. Actually, I'll use that as I might take that little piece off, because I mean, I'm almost 40. I've working for myself pretty much since I finished college back in 2005. Um, and a lot of times when you're an entrepreneur, you put in more work, especially in the beginning, than working for someone else. But you're right, the freedom to travel, the freedom to do whatever you want with your time. You could work nights sometimes, days sometimes. It's really worth it. But respect you. That's really cool, Douglas. So guys, check out Douglas's. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. I'll put a link to his Facebook. If you have any questions for myself or him, comment in the comment section. But I spent some time today and yesterday going through a lot of your videos, and you're a genuine person. They're not, a lot of people get, I've been in YouTube for a long time. I had stopped for a while, especially going through this divorce and so on. But a lot of people, there are not that many people that are in this primarily to help. You know what I mean? Primarily to share. And a lot of people start this dropshipping or FBA or e-commerce and then leave and only make money off of courses. And although it's a good business, it takes away from the content or the information you're given, because a lot of time it's not up to date, and it takes away from how genuine you are to produce the content. So I really appreciate that, guys. So guys, make sure and smash the like button for Douglas and go over to his YouTube channel. And is there anything else you want to say before we go? Because I actually have another interview later on today, and I'll be glad to have you on the channel again to give some updates on how Black Friday goes and how Cyber Monday and so on. But what are you expecting? That's one thing before we go. What are you expecting for Cyber Monday? Because every Cyber Monday things go crazy, right?
I'm kind of guessing. I haven't really put much thought into it, but I'm probably guessing I'll do about $2,500, $3,000 in sales. There hasn't been a lot of toys at the stores that I go to, so I don't really have the holiday stuff.
The holiday rush. You make consistent money.
So I just have my consistent stuff I sell every day, but I have a lot of like Halloween or Christmas candy and stuff like that in stock. So I'm guessing I'll probably have a slight uptick. I'm hoping around $3,000 in revenue on that day is kind of what I'm hoping for.
And on that three, what type of profit you make on that 3,000, if you don't mind me asking?
So after everything, all my boxes, bubble wrap, all my expenses, I make about 15%.
Okay,
I
nice.
believe. So let me do some math here. So probably about $450 profit after everything.
In a day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't complain.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that. Just as long as my kids got a roof and clothes and food, I'm happy.
But I think it's more, other than them just getting what they want, it's very valuable to them for them to see their father like take control of their future, right? Because a lot of kids can now see that maybe some of the kids in the future will decide to start a business. I know I'm a father myself. I have one child. He's 3. And my hope is that in the future, he'll be able to take control of his future and start those businesses as well. So that's really cool, dude.
Yeah, I sit down with my kids and I go over all my stuff with them. They're learning profit margins. They're understanding what expenses are to run a business. They're learning all this stuff. So I teach them all the numbers, especially the older ones. I'll sit down with them when I have a chance and teach them all this stuff. So it's beneficial there too because they can learn and sharpen their math skills.
Yeah. Okay, sweet, dude. So that's cool. How long we started. So guys, if you guys want Douglas on the channel again, comment and say thank you, Douglas. I want you to come back. And Douglas, if you ever want to come back on the channel, my suggestion, my suspicion is that you would get some subscribers from being on my channel. So I'll welcome you back, brother, really, because this was an interesting. I have a lot of experience in e-commerce, but FBA I have pretty much none. I currently run a Shopify store that's a combination of drop shipping and buying stuff in bulk overseas. And I do a couple, I'm into a little crypto and stuff, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, like the video, subscribe to your channel, look in the description for all the links I have for you guys. Peace.
All right, thanks.
All right, so how do I